Hello everyone. Better pack up some warm clothes. We are going to look at the mummies of ancient animals, ships, and abandoned houses that were buried under a layer of snow or frozen in the ice. Let's get it on. You're looking at one of the northernmost ship graveyards, located right in the sea gates of the Arctic on Bruce Neva Island. The ice almost never melts here, and for many years, it served as the last resting place for both ships and aircraft that had to make an emergency landing. The vibes of this place will surely impress even an experienced traveler. To see some unique things, an ordinary walk won't be enough. You'll have to dive right into the water. Here at the bottom of the Canadian Lake Huron lies the 37-meter sweepstake shipwreck. Back in 1885, the ship sank due to a hole caused by a collision. Since then, no one has touched its burial place. On the contrary, it has been turned into a local landmark, which is regularly explored by experienced divers. Only this place can be more spectacular than a ship graveyard in the Arctic.
Hector, let them know I'm walking back now.
It took 9 military towing vehicles to bring this giant out for the world to see. In 2005, they pulled this Soviet B-307 submarine on a tracked undercarriage after it was decommissioned. If you're already starting to imagine some tragic crash, don't jump to conclusions just yet. In 1970, this Lockheed C-121 airliner got into a severe storm and made an emergency landing on the ice fields of Antarctica, saving the lives of all 80 passengers. It's not hard to imagine the whole cabin was probably rocked by the passengers' applause. Going fishing in the morning, this guy from Minnesota probably expected to catch a whole bucket of zander, but stumbled upon something much more impressive. How could we not mention Australia in a compilation of unusual finds and creepy places? That's why we are here in this godforsaken park. Doesn't seem like anything special, right? Well, you just wait for it. Meet Rosie, the great white shark who accidentally got entangled in fishing nets in 1997 and was so badly injured that she had to be euthanized and placed in a formaldehyde tank as an exhibit. And now, with the park closed, only the most daring urban explorers can discover Rosie. The next unexpected discovery in the ice shocked not only those who made it, but also the international scientific community. This little cave lioness was found in the permafrost of Yakutia, where she spent 28,000 years. The researchers got incredibly lucky, since the cold preserved not only the smallest details like the whiskers, but also the internal organs. Scientists named the baby Sparta, and came to the conclusion that of all of the specimens discovered earlier, she was the best preserved one. A few years before the discovery of Sparta, also in Yakutia, scientists found the mummified woolly mammoth, whose age is estimated at 40,000 years. The animal's genome is still being deciphered, and it's quite possible that thanks to it, great minds will make many more interesting discoveries about the ancient fauna. Turned out crocodiles mastered cryogenic technologies much earlier than us. We're not even kidding. In the absence of shelter, these reptiles crawl out into shallow water and hibernate, freezing into ice, and continue to breathe with the tip of their nose which stays on the surface. The same life hack is used by other reptiles like snakes, though as you can see, not always successfully. Do you also have a feeling that Queen Elsa must have visited this abandoned city? This feeling only grows when you're inside.
Блин, ну как же это круто. Жесть, реально себя можно почувствовать в замке Снежной Королевы. Только недавно читал Артуру сказку. Очуметь.
The actual backstory of this place is simple. The heating water pipes burst right in the middle of a harsh winter. No magic involved.
Ошизеть.
And if you take a drone with you, you can film the darkest video in the universe. In Austria, fans of 20th century history can also make a lot of discoveries, thanks to the melting glaciers that used to block the entrance to many World War I bunkers. This one, for example, could accommodate up to 15 soldiers at the height of the war in 1915. Even their uniform is still preserved. They say that good alcohol should not be stored in a warm place under direct sunlight. Well then, how'd you like this? A few cases of brandy and whiskey that have rested in the ice of Antarctica for more than a century. The researchers found this treasure quite by accident. It's believed that it was intended for the British polar explorer Ernest Shackleton, who never reached his destination back in 1909. Now, the bottles have returned to their homeland of Scotland. Of course, no one's going to take a sip of the old whiskey, but they hope to analyze it to get a better idea of how they made whiskey back then. Not only a fan of military history would be happy to stumble upon this graveyard of military equipment in the Hungarian outback, it'd also be a treat for some geek that loves World of Tanks. This BMW that clearly saw better times was accidentally discovered in the middle of the forest by a guy from Russia. The poor car was badly battered, not only by time, but also by passers-by eager to get free parts. So now, this car is nothing more than a monument to the automotive industry. Imagine you're walking on a snow-covered lake, and then see this.
Alright, I'll touch it.
Okay, touch it.
Oh, did you see it?
Looks creepy. These guys thought that they were looking at some kind of alien eggs.
Maybe it's aliens, dude. It is alien eggs.
In fact, everything is simple. What you see is an art installation made by a student from Utah. Before leaving, the girl covered her tracks, and her plan worked perfectly. The next day, a whole crowd of onlookers gathered around the mysterious circle with ice holes. Flying over the northwest of Greenland, you can also make interesting discoveries. This is a Boeing B-29 Super Fortress heavy bomber, and it's been resting here for almost 80 years. At the beginning of the Cold War, this American plane went on a secret reconnaissance mission and made an emergency landing. All 3 crew members were safe, though they had to spend several days in the deserted Arctic tundra. They tried to save the plane, but it caught fire, broke in 2, and has been resting here untouched ever since. Some sunken ships have a slightly better fate. This boat, with a rather symbolic name, Endless Sea, shipwrecked in Antarctica in 2012 and spent more than a year at 12 meters underwater. However, quite soon, specialists from one company noticed her, and with the help of divers, they finally retrieved the 70-ton Colossus from under the water column. This empty stone house in a deserted forest looks so mysterious. It's as if you're looking at the dwelling of the evil Queen's stepmother from Snow White. However, inside it's not only more spacious than it seems at first glance, but perhaps even quite cozy. Any idea what kind of monster is hiding under this crust of ice? A giant centipede? An ancient saber-toothed tiger? A basilisk with a bunch of spikes on its spine? Time to find out. She must have taken some really cool pictures during her walk. We bet horror movie directors would pay handsomely for them. And this location would make a great setting for some kind of hidden object video game. The rusty remains of an American airbase against the snow-white mountains and fjords of Greenland. Doesn't this look like scenes from some kind of dystopian movie? They say that the locals call these vehicles American flowers. It's surprising that no one has removed them for 70 years. In case you ever wondered if the landscapes of Iceland could get even more mesmerizing and gloomy at the same time, this US Navy aircraft crash landed on the beach in 1973. All the crew members survived, but the aircraft was beyond repair, so it turned into one of the local attractions. Seeing this colossus from afar, the guys who filmed the video were anticipating something cool. Though it turned out to be not a real helicopter, but a dummy to fool the enemy. Try to imagine the most unlikely thing that you can find under the snow while walking.
Вот такая нынче у нас зима. Просто капец, видите? Все, крыша одна. Вот крыша веранды торчит. Ёлки-палки. Провода по голове могут ударить. О, вот вход в дом.
Seen a tower that looks more magical than this one? You're looking at a lighthouse on St. Joseph Pier on Lake Michigan. It owes its unique appearance to the waves. In winter, they break off the pier and freeze in bizarre shapes. That's enough discoveries for today, buddy. Hit the like button if you had a good time and learned something new. Share your stories about discoveries you've made in the comments, and see you in the next one.